Hello, everybody. So, I decided to go public with my story today. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think the country is really divided right now. I think everybody is essentially at each other's throats. And I think it's a time that we should come together as a unit, as a one people, and try to push forward through all this and find that unity and sense of identity and group that we had before. And the reason I'm sharing my story is because I feel that there is a bigger disparity growing between the poor and the rich, and I would love to give some insight to that. Um, so, without further ado, I'll be going into some personal things, and I wish this was scripted because it probably wouldn't be as clunky, but yeah, here goes nothing. So, was born 1992 of May 7th, and I was born into a very abusive environment, physically and mentally. We had lived in shelters, in basements, in cars. I was constantly mentally and physically attacked by my mother. I had a half-brother who was desperately sick and ill from the things my mother did to him, the mental games that she would do to twist him. The husbands were very abusive, drug addicts, alcoholics, and my half-brother, ended up turning into a person who tried to slit my throat multiple times, tried running me over with his cars. I was living with random people, with acquaintances, with friends just to grow up. I worked at a bar, Duffy's bar actually, at 13 in the back in the kitchen. I did any work I could to survive. And I pushed through a lot of this, was able to get a college degree, went abroad, and actually fulfilled a lot of dreams. I was acting, I signed to Broadway, had money, I did stuff with companies and investments, lost everything when COVID happened. Literally about a year ago, we were in a Hammond homeless shelter, bouncing around from different places, just trying to figure things out. Had just returned from Bali. We went from China to Bali to the States. I brought my wife, who was my performing partner, and I know this is going through a lot of information so fast, but I will be, as I break down the purpose of these videos, going into depth into certain things, but it was hard. After coming back, I actually faced my mom. She had tried to contact me and said that she was in therapy and wanting to fix what was broken, and ended up being the worst mistake of my life, trying to go back in that kind of environment. That's actually why we were homeless. But what I want to do is I want to target those people who have nothing. I don't mean you lost your job, you lost your investment, your car was repoed, you couldn't pay your rent for a little bit. I don't mean those things are terrible, but there are completely different on a complete it's a different level when you're at that point of poverty, when you're in the street, or you're taking heroin or smoking drugs just to feel warm, when you're eating a piece of bread every day or less than that, when all you can do is just survive. You're getting stuck in this survival mode. And all these motivational videos and speeches that are out there, I love them, and they've helped me get to where I am today. But I had a piece of the puzzle, a piece of the puzzle, a piece of the puzzle, and none of those talks or motivational speeches or people really connected with me at a very base level. It wasn't until I got into a situation, through many trials and errors and research, that I was able to find kind of a pathway, like specific things you can do today, choices you can make. They're going to seem super simple, but things you can do. And that's what I want to go over in the future of these videos. I'm going to go into more depth of my story. I'm going to be giving some of these things that helped me, and some of the things I still struggle with. And the reason I wanted to do it now is I just launched a company. I'm not super wealthy, but I have money. I'm in the middle. I'm on that way to where I want to be with my life. So I'm still in the trek. And I thought, what a better way than to give any type of information, if this reaches anybody, just know that there's someone who understands, and that I will be releasing content weekly, just to highlight these massive information gaps. And I think people like Ed Milet, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, these people are massive motivational speakers, inspirational speakers with a wealth of knowledge, but there's a disparity for the people that can understand it. And I'll give you a very brief example of what I'm trying to target. Is when I hear changing your identity, changing the way you think about yourself, what are some other things? Facing fear, controlling your thoughts, gratitude. Ed Milet was talking about stacking gratitude. It's what changed it for him, and creating these new habitual patterns mentally that allow you to tap into the potential that we all have, because that mind can kill you, can destroy everything, your relationships, your money, your businesses. And I've done it multiple times. I've restarted so many times from my own choices, and we have to take responsibility for that. But I couldn't understand how to go from here to here, no matter how hard I tried or anything I did. I was circulating or circumventing, trying to circumvent, but it kept coming back. And like Nietzsche said, Jordan Peterson quotes him a lot. One of my favorite psychoanalysts, personality psychologists, said we're all circling consistently, and no matter what we do, whether it's erroneous, bad or good, we're coming closer to the center. And I believe that's true, but there's also a lot of people who just stay circling. They never reach that center, and it begs the question why. And I really think it's information, accessibility to information and people. And coming from where I was, being 13, 14, 15 years old, as I became more cognitive, working any job I could for cash, with Mexicans, bars, digging holes or trenches, whatever I could find just to survive. I'm now at a point where I connected the pieces, and I kind of have the blueprint figured out. And in the next year or two, my empire will be built, and I can actually, on a macro scale, benefit more people. But currently, if this just reaches anybody, I'll be happy. But when you're at that level, when all you care about is what you can eat or where you're going to sleep the next day, all those motivational speeches, all that information, everything means nothing. You have examples of people, say, do physical things, be uncomfortable. We are uncomfortable. We were born into uncomfortability. To ask us to be uncomfortable, it's a slap in the face, or work on your mind, or don't victimize yourself, or, create positivity, stack gratitude. All those things are wonderful if I was in a place where I could do that. But when you're in that mindset, biologically, we're stuck in survival mode. And one person who talks about this is Wall Street Trapper, connects with a lot of people from the streets and from where I'm from. And I'm from ghetto side of South Chicago, Gary, Indiana, and not the nice neighborhoods. If they're, back then there was some areas that were still decent. But he talked about survival mode, and I think people understand how deep that goes. And psychologically speaking, when you're in survival mode, when you don't have food, shelter, you don't have a purpose, so you're animalistic. And there's like two main functions that happen that I've observed. We either coil or we're aggressive. So you're either the hustler or you're the bitch, let's put it that way. You're one of those. You choose to be passive, you choose to be aggressive, and you're surviving just for survival, just to get through the day. And I will tell you, no matter what books or motivational speeches or anything I listened didn't help, but what did help was specific things as I look back on that I wish I would have known sooner, that someone said, hey, shut the fuck up and do this, and your life is going to pick up, and it's quick. And that's what I want to touch on is how. So I was nothing, 13, 14 years old, working back in and out of the homes, in and out of my mom's, wherever she was at the time, if she had a place, stepdads, in and out, back and forth, just to have a meal or a brief reprieve, a brief break from all the pain and suffering. It was really hard. all the things that happen, all the abuse, was not easy. And I know there's a lot of people there that have worse stories than me, and are still struggling. And I wanna reach you. I wanna give you something, and know that, to the best of my ability, I'm going to be posting these videos, and organize my thoughts a bit better for the next one. So it's easy, user friendly to understand. But for this video, I just want everybody to know that you're okay, and there is a way, and I'm gonna give you that way. I'm gonna tell you this way, and trust me, if you follow this way, you're gonna reach the other side. You're gonna get to a point where all those things that these beautiful people are doing for us, spreading positivity, spreading information, spreading wealth, you can grab onto that. But we have to beat that first part. So as I said, I want to bridge that disparity gap. We have plenty of information on this side, but not enough down here. And so until my next video, my blessings go without all of you, to all of you. And please know that I understand the pain and the suffering, and I'm gonna, to the best of my ability, give as much information as I can that can lead you out of that. So I'll be posting weekly, and please, keep your heads up. We're gonna beat it. We're beating it every day, and you have it in you. That potential's innate in all of us, and we can do this together. So let's go get this.